You need to be number one on that list. I know it's counterintuitive, but when you make yourself the very first priority, that's how you are able to take care of all those other priorities effectively. That's how you're able to do your job well. That's how you're able to be there and be most effective and available and present for the people in your life that need you. Think about when you have time for yourself. How do you feel afterwards? I see a lot of people nodding. Yeah, it feels great, doesn't it? Yeah, it feels fantastic, right? Anyone in this room a perfectionist? I know there have to be a number of you. Yes, okay. And it's a real challenge for a lot of us, because when you are a perfectionist, when you're doing things sort of to a further degree than you really need to, you're not using your time effectively. So what I really encourage you to do is that when you sit down, if you have a perfectionist tendency, when you sit down to work on a project, ask yourself before you start, what kind of effort does this require? Is this something that requires 150% of my effort? And it might be. It might very well be. If you're researching assisted living facilities where your parents are going to be moving, you're going to be as thorough as possible with that. If you have a client report that you have to write, you're going to be really, really thorough with that. If you're sitting down to write an internal memo at work, how many times have you just labored over and over rereading your emails that you're about to send? Yeah, we've all done it. That's not a good use of your time. Really think about that. And also think about where you can lower your standards. And I know that this is easier said than done, but the problem is many of us hold ourselves to standards that we'd never, ever hold anybody else to. Last summer, I was at the pool at Boston College where my kids are taking lessons, and it's around 6:30 at night, and I'm in there with another mom, and our kids are getting dressed. I didn't know her. She turns to me and she says, "So, are you going home making dinner right now?" And I looked at her and I said, "No." I said, "I'm feeding them cereal." And she goes, "Really?" She says, "Thank God." She said, it was like she needed permission to do that. And we shouldn't feel that way, right? Because it was exactly what was just said. What do our kids want from us? If you have children. And if it's not children, what do you need for yourself? How do you find the time for yourself? Or maybe there's a volunteer commitment that you really want to be involved in and you're having trouble finding a way to do that. So you've got to figure out how to streamline and say, is this really important? And it's not to say that you always have to cut corners, but sometimes cutting corners is really the right thing to do so that you can do the things that matter the most to you.